Hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am in a so-called boatyard now. I haven't updated for a long time. I will show what I have done so far. So the boat is now sitting on this trailer mounted cradle, and what I'm attempting to do is I'm going to remove the keel from the body. And what I did, I put these long timbers under the keel frame, and then I built these supports for the lead keel, and then I let air out of the tires so much that the boat is sitting on these long timbers now. I'll show you also on another side. So the boat is sitting on these timbers now, and they are connected to each other with cross members, and then these vertical timbers are holding the keel in the place. And then I tried to remove as much sealant as possible. I already tried to jack up the hull with this hydraulic jack, but yeah, I managed to get the boat up from the cradle about 1 centimeter, but the keel didn't move at all. I have, of course, I have loosened all the nuts inside, so it should be free to move, but the sealant is holding the keel to the hull so strongly that I'm trying to dig out some more sealant at the moment. And what I found out, this specific boat has had a trim rudder in the trailing edge of the keel. So exactly here, so exactly in this place here was a small rudder before, additional rudder. The main rudder is in the back of the boat, as you can see, but here was an additional rudder, and this has been laminated to the keel. So the keel itself ends somewhere here, and then this trailing edge is laminated to the keel, so I had to cut this open. And there is some more strange things going on. Here you can see it's about 5 centimeters thick, like some kind of filler material. Like here you can see there is lead keel and there is hull. Here you can see there is lead keel, then there is a 5 centimeters of filler, and then there is a hull. So very strange, and I don't understand what material it is. It looks like concrete, but I think it's some mix of some filler material and resin, but it looks very much like concrete. So I've jacked up the boat using this hydraulic jack and this piece of timber, and I've supported the hull with this 6-ton jig, or I don't know how to call it. One in the front and the other one in the back, and it's hard to show you, but the boat is hanging on these jigs now. The keel is loose from the cradle, and I tried to hammer wooden keels and plastic keels into this joint, and hopefully the keel will drop. Fingers crossed. It's amazing. 2.5 tons hanging only on this glue. Too bad it wasn't watertight. It looks like the keel is coming loose. So in this rearmost part you can already see the gap. But the main part is still holding strong. Well, after a few hours there is a significant gap now all around the keel. You can see through almost everywhere through the joint. But the keel is still hanging on to the boat, clinging on to its life. I think there is some Sikaflex or whatever glue it is. It is between the bolts and the holes, and this is still holding. I'm going upstairs now and maybe try to tap the bolts slightly, remove the backing plates. Maybe it will help. Some of the backing plates are bare metal, some are painted over. This one came loose pretty easily. Well, sometimes I don't get why people do things they do. Why should somebody glass over this backing plate? What's the idea behind this? To make it more difficult to remove, or to give it good conditions for crevice corrosion? I don't know. Anyway, I have to remove it. Well, the plastic keels are all the way in and the keel is still stuck. It just doesn't drop off. Meanwhile, I tapped the bolts with a hammer outside carefully without damaging the threads, and it helped a bit. so the gap became wider. Now I'm trying to use these bars. Maybe this will help. I think I know what the problem might be. The bolts are at the slight angle, and the keel should like drop forward, but it will never drop forward. It wants to drop straight down. So I will try to raise the back end of the boat a little bit. We got to do something, you know. Something has to work. Many hours later, and I'm still stuck in pretty much the same place. Maybe the gap is a little bit bigger now, but the keel still doesn't drop off. So when there's a will, there's a way. There must be a way. What I'm trying to do now, I put this strap over the keel and I'm trying to pull it down with this ratcheting strap. So let's see. Maybe this will work. I also raised the stern of the boat a little bit and lowered the bow. I'm not sure if it makes any difference or not. Another try with two straps now. And of course I didn't film it when it happened, but the keel is loose. The keel is standing on the ground now, on the cradle, and the boat is hanging on the stands. It took just one small bit of more tension on the forwardmost strap and then it dropped. It wasn't a high drop, maybe 15 millimeters, 1.5 centimeters. So, shit, this was hard. We should raise the hull a bit more to clear the bolts and give us some room to clean the surfaces, fair them, prepare for the new sealant. I'm gonna use Sikaflex 292. It's supposed to have a good adhesion and it's readily available where I live. So a lot of people suggest using 3M 5200, which is, once you've applied it, it's permanent. It's very hard to get off, but it's not available here, and maybe I'm not sure if I need this kind of adhesion here. The bolts are holding the keel and the sealant is there to prevent the water ingress. Okay, enough talking. I'm happy now, much happier than before.